Good evening, Waco friends and family. It's Thursday, February 18th, and I want to provide another update related to Waco's response to winter weather and also ask once again for your help to ensure we all remain safe during this time. Let me start with our most pressing challenge. Our water supply is critically low. We are currently pumping all we can, but the main problems we are facing right now are leaks and high usage. We are pumping twice our normal daily usage, and the system storage is sitting at a critically low capacity. And while we don't expect shutting off the water throughout the entire city, a community-wide boil water notice is imminent if demand doesn't change. Again, this demand is being caused by leaks around the city and high usage. If system conditions worsen, some areas might not have water at all, depending on water system pressures and elevation. And if system conditions worsen even more than that, the fire department could not have water for firefighting. Our city staff has developed and continues to develop alternative methods for fire protection, but it's critically important that we conserve water to make sure that our firefighters can do what they do best. Here's what we need people to do today. For our industrial and commercial users, if you haven't been to a building or facility you own or are responsible for in the last several days, we need you to safely get there and inspect your buildings to ensure that they aren't having leaks. And we need you to do this as soon as possible. Fire lines are particular problems right now, and if you can't get to your building or facility but have video, please check that. If there is a leak, turn it off by turning off your water supply. If you can't turn it off, call 254-299-CITY or 2489, and we will send someone to turn it off. Car washes and laundromats are encouraged to stay closed through the weekend. All businesses should cut your water consumption as much as possible, at least 50%. Restaurants should use paper plates and other disposable items rather than wash dishes. For our residential customers, if you have power to heat your home, open cabinet doors under sinks so heat can circulate to pipes. Don't run washing machines or dishwashers for the next 48 hours. Everyone should stop dripping faucets when the temperature is above 32 degrees. Check your plumbing for leaks. If you have a leak, turn off the water valve to your home. And if you can't find the valve, call 254-299-2489 and ask for help turning off the water. Report noticeably, markedly lower water pressure to 254-299-2489 as well. Our staff, as well as contractors our staff has procured, are working to repair leaks all over the city around the clock. And in order to do this, are having to cut water off in isolated areas in order to save the system's capacity and pressure. To date, there are approximately 300 customers without water. These are limited to areas where we've had main leaks and have had to valve off that small area. Repairs will be scheduled for as soon as possible. Our repairs are being prioritized in a way to maintain our water system. We apologize for any delay and are working around the clock to restore water everywhere. Our city staff has worked hard to procure bottled water for residents that lose water. This is in process, but an announcement on this, along with plans to distribute the water, will follow. We will prioritize the distribution of bottled water to customers who have already actually lost drinking water. Again, we do not anticipate having to shut off the water for the entire city. But a system-wide boil water notice is imminent if we cannot reduce demand for water by finding and resolving leaks and reducing consumption. I want to thank our city staff, employees, and personnel, as well as independent contractors the city staff has procured, for proactively and safely searching for water leaks and working to resolve them. The fact that almost all of our residents still have drinkable water in this moment is a testament to our city staff's creative and diligent efforts. If you see a water leak, call our water call center at 299-2489. Spotting a water leak can make a major difference in this moment, and if you see unexpected running water in drainage areas, creeks, or streets, please contact 299-2489. And lastly, I want to give an update on other important city functions. Our city streets team continues to sand the city streets. They are reporting icy conditions and advise you to reduce your travel as much as possible. and if you must travel, please be careful today. Our street crews have been working around the clock this last week and are supplied to continue throughout the duration of this winter weather. Thanks to our street crews, they will continue to prioritize dangerous areas and are collaborating with police department to locate these problematic areas. As a reminder, solid waste services will not run today due to street conditions, but know that we are planning additional runs in the next 2 weeks to catch up around town. Our police and fire teams are still able to ensure our public is safe at this time. Thank you so much to our fire and police officers for all you're doing. From an electric system standpoint, there are still many Waco homes without power. I know this is very hard for everyone who has been without power, and I'm sincerely sorry for what you've been through. While the city of Waco doesn't have the authority or control over electric power providers or repairs, we are advocating directly to electric utility representatives around the state on your behalf. We will continue to advocate to all the powers that be for a rapid restoration of power in Waco. There are still 3,400 electricity customers in McLennan County that do not have power. That should continue to improve today and in the days ahead. And we will use our voice to advocate and ensure that statewide systemic failures that resulted in long-term losses of power are resolved to keep this from happening again. For our Waco residents without power or experiencing cold conditions in your home, please know that we have warming centers available at 3 locations around Waco, including the Dewey Community Center, South Waco Community Center, and St. Albans Church. Transportation can be arranged for trips to warming centers by calling 254-405-4247. I've reached out to community leaders and community partners to help us support the cleanup and repair phase of this disaster that will follow. We will be prepared to do all that we can to support our community in the days ahead. For matters related to COVID-19, please go to covidwaco.com. We're still evaluating the ability to conduct our public vaccination clinic this week. We will continue to update you on this website and other platforms. For continued information and update, please monitor the city's public information channels, such as our Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter accounts, as well as online at waco-texas.com. A Spanish version of this video will soon be released by Mayor Pro Tem Hector Sabito as well. Also, the script will be made available on social media platforms. The City of Waco staff deserves honor. They have been working around the clock to address this local crisis, from sanding our streets, to responding to our water facilities, to setting up warming centers, to so much more. Behind the scenes, they've been working incredibly hard to serve the city. Thank you to our Waco City staff, Bradley Ford, Deidre Emerson, Paul Kane, Ryan Holt, Galen Price, Jennifer Ritchie, Esmeralda Hudson, our water department teams, our street crews, our police and fire departments, Larry Holsey in this office who's basically been living here, and so many more. Your brave, selfless efforts to keep our citizens safe is not unnoticed, and we are grateful. City employees have literally been away from their families for days. Even Bradley Ford missing one of his own kiddos' birthdays to ensure that our city is kept safe. To city employees and your families who are sacrificing, thank you. Let's be safe out there in the coming days. Famous Waco resident Jules Bledsoe once said, "In order to not pass out of this world forgotten in a few years, do some unselfish good." It does not take a genius or fame or fortune. All it requires is a good heart and a kindly spirit. Please continue to do that unselfish good. Conserve water, check on your neighbors, and provide support to your fellow Wacoans where you can. There are so many stories I've heard around this town of our community members supporting each other. Let's keep that up. Some of our neighbors don't have access to internet, where much of information is being disseminated at this time. So if you're able, find creative and safe ways to ensure these folks are being communicated with. Let's take heart, help one another, and we're going to get through this together. Thank you.